Brodes Media.
What is going on, everyone? I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but here I am. If you are new to the channel, we are on the road to 20,000 subscribers, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up button as well. I appreciate it so much. On Twitter, at Brodes81. That is my personal Twitter account. Hit the follow button there, too. I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. And enjoy the show. What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. I'm an idiot. I stated that I wasn't going to react to this Padres series until I see the 3 games in its entirety. Well, here we are. I stayed up last night till 2 a.m. I had a blast. It was a phenomenal, entertaining game. Long, definitely long. 10 walks involved, some long at-bats involved. I'm talking about 10 walks for Phillies pitching, which is just absurd. But that's what is going on in San Diego right now. This team is not on its right path. The Padres have not been themselves. So the Phillies have an opportunity to skirt by with their own issues, with their own problems, and still find a way to grind out a win. You got big production from big-time players, which you were not getting in the Arizona Diamondback series. And I made this joke after the Diamondback series, and it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke, that the Phillies are going to sweep the Padres. That's what's going to happen. They're going to sweep the Padres, or they're going to win 2 of 3 to keep you engaged. It's what they do. So here we are, right? They take game 1, and they put themselves in a position to make that happen. Your big player stepped up, though. Jean Segura gets on base. He steals second. JT with a beautiful how do you do. By the way, that walk was with 2 outs. Takes second base. JT ropes one for an RBI. He desperately needed that. And Bryce Harper with a crushed Blake Snell pitch that got annihilated. That thing was, wow. 3-0 Phils. Now, in the first inning, I started to get disgusted, and I was sweating, and I was in a lot of pain, because here's Jean Segura getting on first, gets to second base, right? Beautiful. Gets to second base. He gets picked off trying to steal third. He froze. He was out by a mile. But he got lucky because Cronenworth missed the throw by Blake Snell. But it's dumb baseball is what it is. It's horrific baseball. Now he gets on third base and nobody knocks him in. So we're starting off a game where you get Jean Segura in a runner in scoring position. And that's what we're dealing with. That's the abysmal start that we're having to the new series. Please, we got to be sharper. You got to connect. Ultimately, it did not cost them because they won the game. But come on now. And I talked about big players stepping up. Andrew McCutchen in the 8th inning for his 1800th hit of his MLB career gets a monster insurance RBI to put the Phils up 2 in that spot. So it was 4-2 at that time because Manny, dude, I'll tell you what, I've never seen a home run hit that hard in my life. It was basically 120 miles per hour off the bat. How in the world did that go? How in the world did that line drive make it over the fence? It was crazy. I mean, clearly it had enough to just scrape over the wall and get to the fans out in left field, but that was bizarre. He destroyed that pitch thrown by Matt Moore. So good for Andrew McCutchen. He needed that desperately. A lot of these players needed that desperately. It's not ironic that your team wins when the middle of your rotation and your top-end guys are thriving compared to the alternative. I don't want to go back and tell you the nasty-looking, horrible statistics that we saw in that Arizona Diamondback series, even though I'm going to, because you know what? I had to suffer through the pain. I'm going to make you suffer through the pain with me. Now, where is this? Because I had it all written down, and there's no way it's this far back, so something's not right. There you go. I skipped a page. I knew it. No, I didn't skip a page. What is happening here? I had all their numbers just written down. Did I throw that page out? See, I'm anti-ripping pages out of my book. All right, so what's going on here? Is it on the opposite side? Aha! I got it. I accidentally skipped a page. Harper 1 for 11. JT 0 for 11. Kutch 1 for 11. Torreyes 2 for 11. Didi 2 for 10. Gene Segura 2 for 13. You are not going to succeed with the players playing that way. Now you fast forward to the game against the Padres, even though, I'm not telling you 4 runs is the most explosive in the world and they couldn't have generated even more offense because, yes, they could have. With that said, though, look who knocked in your runs. Look who got on base for your other players to knock in your runs. Yeah, it's not ironic. It's definitely not. So Matt Moore went with 75 pitches today and was yanked in the 5th inning after Joe Girardi went to the bump and Manny Machado was coming up again. So clearly after Manny Machado did what he did previously, maybe not the most comfortable situation in the world, Matt Moore gets yanked. And I'm hearing in the postgame, Ruben Amaro and Ben Davis may be upset that Joe Girardi has such a quick leash on Matt Moore because we know he went 6 innings of no-hit ball the other day. And I don't understand that. It's Matt Moore. It's Matt Moore. I do not care how well he's pitching in 4 or 5, 6 innings. I don't care. It's Matt Moore. And I don't care what he proves. Well, if he has a couple outings in a row, maybe he could prove to Joe Girardi. No. There's no proving to Joe Girardi. We know what Matt Moore is. Take it for what it is. Look at it as, hey, I'll take this any day. It could be a lot worse, and it normally is a lot worse. There's nothing to prove. We know what Matt Moore is. He's not just changing and becoming an elite starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. If you can get 5 innings-ish and he gives you around 80 pitches or so, okay, we'll go to our bullpen. But Brodes, the bullpen's not good either. I'll take my chances. As Hector Neris gets a big out on Manny Machado to get out of that 5th. Then we get to a little bit of some iffiness, though, with Neris in the follow inning. Some traffic on the bases for sure. 2 men on, 2 outs. It was 1st and 2nd. There's a pitch in the dirt, and JT Realmuto can't block it. He has his one leg out, which I don't have a problem with because everybody is taught to catch that way these days. It's not just JT Realmuto who's catching this way, and he's struggling with it, and everyone in the world is just going in another direction. No, this is the way that baseball is taught these days, catching. And I've seen JT Realmuto make a better effort to block a ball on the inside part of the plate, opposite side of where he was set up to block the ball when he's been on one leg before. I've seen him do better. The ball gets past him, and it's just been a little weird and shaky with him behind the plate as of late. And here's your answer. He's fatigued. He's tired. He's playing a lot of baseball, but you're forced to have to play him a lot down the stretch because one, Andrew Knapp is unplayable, and he's a disaster out behind not necessarily behind the plate, although he's had some really tough moments this year. But at the plate, it's such a big drop-off. We can't stand where JT is, right? Because he's somewhat in that average with some of these offensive statistics. Andrew Knapp is below average. So in what world can you rely on that? You can't. I mean, the answer is so simple. You can't. So, yeah, JT's going to have to battle through this mentally, but you can see signs of him being tired. And he hasn't been himself all season long. He hasn't been best catcher in baseball all season long. I hate that, too. I really do. After he does anything, BCIB is all over my Twitter sphere. I mean, the guy has sucked for how long this year? And he's been bad and miserable in how many moments this year? He has one play, and now he's the best catcher in baseball again? Please. Can we stop with that? It's okay to admit that he has not performed to that level this year, okay? It's just that simple. It's not hard to comprehend. He has not been that good this year. So I was disappointed with that because now you got runners advancing, and now it's 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, and eventually Tommy Pham gets up, and here's Joe electing to stick with Hector Neris. You got your righty on righty. It was a soft dribbler to Ronald Torreyes, who makes a beautiful play, challenges the ball, sets his feet, throws on the run, and gets a big out over at first. I'll tell you what, I don't know if that play is made by everybody. All right, Toe made it look simple. Toe made it look like it wasn't that difficult. That's a difficult play to make. It's a difficult play. Good for Toe. How about that? I'm sorry, I need this coffee. I need it badly. It was a late night last night. I made a coffee at 10:06. because I had a date night with the fiance. We went out to we went out to eat. We did a little shopping, and then I got home. It was 10:04. Perfect time to brew the cup of Joe, put my feet up. I used the same exact mug, actually. I got the little monkey mug going. And yeah, now I woke up. It's a little later than I wanted it to be by the time I'm recording this. And I know with the game starting tonight at 8:30, it's a little bit of a weird scenario on recording, and I wasn't even going to anyway because this team pissed me off so much. But I'm not going to lie to you. You know me. Damn it. This is me not getting sucked in, obviously, but just getting sucked into talking about them. What do you want me to do? This is what I do. They're the love of my life, but I hate them. And I'm dripping coffee everywhere on my pants, so I'm going to put my mug down. Crazy. Now I'm going to smell like coffee all day. Not a bad thing, though. All right, let's get to the 8th, where there was some drama as well. Archie Bradley in the 8th inning. He does get 2 strikeouts after getting into trouble, but eventually it becomes bases loaded. And here's Ian Kennedy. Bases loaded versus Fernando Tatis Jr. You're talking about the power part of their order up. Here's Fernando Tatis, right? And it was not pretty. That was very ugly. It was not meant to happen, of course, but he ends up getting drilled in the helmet with a pitch, and you could see it in the slow-mo. It's almost as if when Tatis was ducking and getting out of the way, the helmet was naturally coming off as that was happening. So when the ball hit the helmet, maybe it wasn't as square dead as if it was on his helmet. I'd have to go back and watch that slow-mo replay a couple times, but I'm just basing this off of my 1:30 or 1 a.m. remembrance while I was slamming coffee real hard. It seemed like as he was ducking out of the way, it still hit the head, but he seemed okay, and that's what matters the most. It doesn't really matter how it happened, where it happened, just as long as he's okay. And that scored a run, so that made it a 4-3 baseball game. Manny Machado, this is where it really sparks up the intensity a bit, and some fire was coming out in this at-bat because Doug Eddings had himself a little bit of a tougher day at the office. Now, I thought some of the reaction throughout the Padres all night long was a little aggressive because some of those pitches were super close, very one way or the other, very controversial, very on the line or not. You'll see 50% of umps call it a strike, 50% of umps call it a ball because it plays with that line. And that's okay, in my opinion. Just because it's, like, I love the strike zone screenshot that everybody takes, and they say, look, they called this a ball. It's like, yeah, the ball is literally, like, grazing the outside part of the plate. Yeah, but that's a ball. No, I mean, come on. We're talking about a ball grazing the outside part of the plate. An umpire calling that a strike is not as egregious as you want to make it out to be because it's close and it could be going either way, and it went against your team and the way of thinking that you have on that given night. If you were the pitcher and your team was pitching, you would say, damn, that was close enough to call a strike. Well, it's just the perspective you have on it. Now, with that said, the pitch that got Manny Machado pissed off and got the Padres a bit pissed off and ticked off, had the manager coming out, all that. Okay, yeah, it was off the plate, big time. Got some help. And the Phillies pitching had some help tonight. It works both ways, though. It's just reality of the situation. It works both ways. He had a tough day at the office, but he had a tough day at the office all throughout with some of these pitches. Manny Machado got all upset, and then he ends up getting out. He starts undoing his gloves, and he gets right into Doug Eddings' face. Big time. You can see Doug just point right out. Does he have the right to be upset? Absolutely. And I think he sensed, one, look, the team has been not winning games. So there's something to be said about that. I can relate this to, if you remember a few days ago or a few games ago, Bryce Harper did the same thing. Bryce Harper was not happy. It was late in the game. He was fired up, and he just got right into the face of the blue. Because, well, the team's not winning, and there's trying to be a spark, and they're trying to get a rise, and maybe that's something that kicks the team in the ass to play with a bit more motivation. You see your leader fired up. You see your other leader get hit in the face or hitting the helmet. Let's go, pick it the hell up. And we'll see how they respond today when they play against Aaron Nola, which I'm very scared about that matchup. I have no idea what to expect, and it's sad that our opening day starter is on the mound in such a crucial game in a series that they need to win, and quite frankly, they need to sweep, but that's hard to put those expectations on a team, but they put them in this scenario to begin with. You getting swept in Arizona, and by the way, going back after this series, 3-3, it's not good. It's not good. But just based off of where they are now, it's your best case scenario, and you got to get there. But Aaron Nola in a pressured game, I have no idea what to expect. That's sad. You're going up against a team that's struggling, and they're not in the right mojo right now. Take advantage of it. But yeah, I do think Manny had every right. At the same time, it's just funny. That's all. Because it's not my team. So I'm going to laugh at it. Even though if it was my team, I'd be, I'd probably be a little bit more opinionated on it. And I was with Bryce Harper a couple days ago when he did it. And I was asking, okay, why? What was his message? Was there a message, or was that pure frustration? I questioned a lot out of it. With Manny, I don't care as much to know why he did it, if he was looking for that rise. But yeah, there's that from that side of things. Kennedy came in, as I mentioned, in the 8th, but in the 9th, he had an outstanding athletic play over at first base for the first out of the inning. It was a ground ball to first base, but the way he gets over to first base to beat the play, that was insane. His foot's dragging on the bag, and it was bang, bang, but it was a hair before. His body somewhat forming backwards and bending the wrong way. But he gets that first crucial out. I said this when I was at the game where Ian Kennedy got hosed back at Citizens Bank Park against the Dodgers when they salvaged the series. The Ian Kennedy experience is just bizarre. Whether that's because of him throwing bad pitches, whether that's because the umpire behind the plate is missing pitches to Seager and Cody Bellinger that should have recorded the final outs of the game. No matter what it is, I'm not saying it's always specifically him or not. The experience is bizarre. He's loading, the bases are loaded, and he's hitting someone in the helmet. And then he's getting out Manny Machado, and now there's a big blow-up between Manny Machado and the umpire. Now he makes an explosive play over at first base to record the first out. He gets out of, the situation in the 9th with a 1-run lead, and then he closes the door in the 9th inning. It's just out there. You never know how it's going to end up. But, here's the difference. Okay, maybe that's not necessarily true. You feel you're going to get the close. He's going to close the game, but it's going to be in a way where you're uncomfortable the whole time. It's hard to digest it in the moment. But he keeps getting the save. He keeps getting the job done. The job continues to get completed. It just doesn't happen as smoothly as we would like it to be. And speaking of smooth, DraftKings Sportsbook is very smooth. Everyone's favorite time of the year is right around the corner, the college football season. And to celebrate, DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is putting you in the center of the app. In the center of the action with $200 in free bets instantly if you bet $1 or more on any college football game. Take advantage of this limited time. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Brodes to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any college football game. That's promo code Brodes to get your free $200 in free bets instantly. For a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And just to backtrack a little bit, there's two things I wanted to hit on that I didn't. When Hector Neris was throwing, he was throwing gas. He was giving you that 95. I think at one point Ruben even mentioned he saw a 96 in there. I don't remember seeing that specifically, but when he said it, I was like, did I miss the gun when that happened? Did I miss the gun and the velocity on that pitch? I might have. But let's say I saw a bunch of 95s in the mix. That's good velocity out of Hector, for sure. No doubt about it. So let's see how that works with Hector moving forward just in terms of his production. He's been better not closing games. That's clear as can be. And what bothers me about that JT thing is Hector's going to spike things into the dirt. You got to be prepared for that scenario. This is not breaking news. This is not nothing brand new. This is what Hector Neris does. Like, there's a pitch in his repertoire that's going to go in the dirt. You got to be ready for it. You got to be prepared for it. You can't just, in a lazy way, try and utilize your backhand, and then the ball just starts flying to the backstop. And speaking of backhand, it's one snowball after the other. After I say one thing, there's a part of my brain that triggers in the other direction that I wasn't even going to go in. But Cronenworth had this was the first inning when Segura was at first. he was at third, and Andrew McCutchen grounds out to Cronenworth, and he's running to first. Backhand, sets his feet, long throw from basically where the outfield begins. Stellar. That's beautiful baseball. That's beautiful defensive baseball. Speaking of defensive baseball, here we go. Here's the brain just with the domino effect. Luke Williams over at third base made an outstanding play at third. Tatis Jr. rips one down the... Oh, no. Caught and snagged by Luke Williams. Would have never happened with Alec Bohm. And speaking of Alec Bohm, my guy is so damn lost. He had 3 strikeouts on the night. One was an excellent pitch. It was his second strikeout of the night looking. He struck out his first time looking. He was frozen by a Blake Snell curveball. That was a hittable pitch. I just don't think he was looking in that direction, obviously. He was not sitting on the breaking pitch, and maybe he thought that fastball was coming. It was going to be something a little bit heavier, but he looks right at it. Boom. It's a curveball that he probably could have drove if he was waiting on a pitch that way, but he looks lost, and he was frozen on the first attempt. The second time he was frozen, going down looking. It was a beautifully executed pitch where Blake Snell just put it on the outside part of the plate low, and it's a tough one. That's one where I have to tip my cap, but I also have to recognize that Alec Bohm is in a horrendous spot. The third strikeout, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Crazy. Unless that was, I just want to make sure, because I have the clips on the Brodes Media account, and you can go on Twitter at Brodes Media, toss a follow there, and you'll get all kinds of great graphics, some great video cuts throughout the game. Was that pitch that he got froze on that was the check swing on a 2-2 count in the top of the 6th with 2 outs. Blake Snell was not in the game for that third K. But on his fourth at-bat, you have a pitch that's left right over the middle of the plate, and he just doesn't connect on it. It's an 0-2 pitch. It's an off-speed pitch. It's right there. It's hanging right there to drive, and he absolutely misses it. And Ruben Amaro was talking about this on the broadcast, and he's been discussing it for a long period of time now. His timing with his foot, because he's waiting for his foot to come back down during his swing. He's late on everything. And that's why he's not pulling the baseball. And when he's got a pitch inside part of the plate that he should be able to, he doesn't. He's constantly going the other way with pitches. You got to think there's an adjustment made at some point. Now, I'm not telling you it's so easy, especially for a younger cat, to just be able to change everything on the fly when you're basically 100 and something games into your Major League Baseball career. But you got to do something because this isn't working. Body language, once again, he's throwing the bat up in the air after a strikeout. He catches it, but he's throwing the bat up as if, here we go again. It's brutal. It continues to be brutal. So, ultimately, you look at it, it's a big win, though, for this squad. Your bullpen, bang, 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 bang. You got some good effort out of Matt Moore. Let's not forget him, because that was solid from Matt Moore perspective. You got Neris, Archie, and Kennedy. Wasn't the beautiful way to do it. It wasn't the most beautiful in the world. Lots of walks involved, and, got shaky at times. They won. And we'll see what Aaron Nola does tomorrow or today. Yeah, see, I'm getting thrown off because normally when I'm talking about a Phillies game, I'm referencing their following game, which is the next night. But I'm recording this in the morning because the game ended at 2 a.m. So I'm all in for a loop. Hell, I wasn't even supposed to do this, but I got emotional. What do you want me to do? I got emotional. I got tied into it. Sue me. With that being said, I want to thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.